everybody, welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We have Bunny next door. For this hour we are looking at Eternal Grace. Now this is a lovely big bundle for you. This is number 231013 and you can see that it is on a show price which is going to go up at midnight tonight. Yep, midnight tonight. So it's on that show price for you of $99.99. You do get your free P&P in there. Now you can see in this bundle you've got Soothing Words, Graceful Flutters, you've got All Our Love card shape, Be Free, Lily Radiance, Tranquil Lily, Vivid Blooms, Peaceful Lily and Lily Cascade. So a really big bundle to get the whole kit. But if you were looking at this and you think, do you know what, I only want the florals, this is also on a show price for you. So you were just going to get the ones here that you can see on the bottom there. This is the Floral Composition Collection, which is also on a show price, which will go up at midnight tonight. And this is $59.99. You will also get your free P&P with that. So if you want to break it down and you just want those florals, you can absolutely do that, because we've got me and Bunny were just saying before the show, we don't think we've seen it in this configuration before, so a really nice way to grab those. And then we also have the banded heart that you can see there, which is such a lovely die. It's on a show price of $24.99 for you. So a great add-on if you want to get this. You've got lovely gaps in these, so really lovely to go in and weave those florals into that, and you can make that up to a wreath. But I am going to go through the boards with you so you can see exactly what each one of those dies breaks down and looks like. So you can see here we're starting off with the All Our Love card shape. Now you can see this is a big die that you're going to get, a really big set. Now I will show you the samples to show you some I think the samples show this a lot better, because there's so many different ways that you can actually put this card shape together. Such a beautiful detailed panel there, really nice design on that. And again, you can see it kind of does have almost some floral looking elements to it, but you could mix that in with so many collections that you'll have at home already. You've got these lovely banner style tags here as well, so great for adding in your sentiments and popping in. You've got your paw prints like your hearts, you've got your little cluster of hearts there as well, and your tags, so lots of ways to add those in. Then we go on to Be Free. This I think is such a pretty die. You have the birds there with that swirl going through them as well, which just sits so perfectly. Lots of different ways of using that. You've got the bird cage, but then you've got this separate birds as well, so you could actually pop those on top of them if you want, but you can use these completely separately. And you do have the mat for that bird cage as well, which is so useful because that is such a delicate die. If you really want to make that pop out, your mat is really going to help you with that one. Then we go on to Graceful Flutters. Your feathers, these are just perfect. They will slot in with your floral displays. You can use these on their own. They are gorgeous. I love that they've all got different shapes in them as well. Like even this one looks like it's just completely twisted over, so much movement in with these ones. Then we go on to Soothing Words. It's such a meaningful set when you look at this one. Such a lovely way to look at this. You've got So Sorry there in that banner style. You've got the book, the floral, and you've got your pen there. It's just a really nice set to help you make those, you know, those hard to make cards. Now we go on to the florals next. So this one is your Tranquil Lily. Now you can see you've got all of those lovely cut lines in there, so you can really go in and build up your dimension and shape these, but you've also got the mats there as well, so you can really bring those to the front if you want. Now from this point, the flowers, if you, like we said, if you want the full collection, that is there for you, but if you just want the floral collection on its own, it is 231015, so you can grab that at the show price of $59.99, and you do qualify for your free P&P with that as well. Then we go on to, this one is the Peace Lily. This is a lovely one. I've used a couple of times, and I've actually even snipped these up. So you get 3 separate lilies then, so you can really go in and break this down. But again, really lovely size on that as well. So you can see that one there. Then we go on to Lily Cascade. This was one of the ones that I used in the earlier show. I think this is such a pretty design. I love the shape of that. It'll just fit in to so many different card shape because of the shape of the design on there. But look at how detailed that is. So detailed. Look at the shading here, the shadow that you've got there behind the leaves. Such a detailed eye. You can see you've got all of those cut lines in there, all of your detail lines, so you can really go in and mold and manipulate these too, so never be afraid of doing that. Then we go on to Vivid Blooms. Now, one of the things I want to mention about this die is that you do get these in different colours. So let me just, you can see you do get them in different colorways on there as well. I'm sure I used one of these earlier. It was one an orange and yellow. I've got a blue one there, so I won't show that. So you can see there the different colorways that you get. So you do get those in different colorways that you can use, so it's not just the one. Oh, I'm dropping everything. It's not the one colorway with this one. You can mix and match these up because you do get those different colorways, which just makes it go even further, because even just using this one on its own, you can mix and match those colorways together and you get a lovely bouquet of florals. And then this one is our Lily Radiance. This is absolutely stunning. You've got so much dimension on there straight away, but they are so detailed. There is so much detail in the artwork as well, and then you cut it out, you see all of those detailed cut lines, and it just comes to life. You could pop that onto the front of a card, pop a sentiment next to it, and your card is done. That's almost like your floral display is made up there for you. Looks absolutely beautiful. Right, so that's all the florals in the floral composition collection. And then we've got the banded heart. So you can see there, this is such a lovely one. So this is $24.99. You do have your P&P there, but if you add this in with one of the other bundles, you're going to get this into that free P&P mark with you. But it looks like a wooden heart. It's absolutely beautiful. You've got your tags there as well, and the gaps in here are perfect, because when you want to go in, you can just weave these into your hearts, and you can just keep building up, and you could make your whole wreath made up from this, and you could have that heart wreath there. You've even got the smaller one there. You could have that dangling with a bit of twine in the middle, put a letter on there, or put your sentiment on there. There's so many different ways of using this, and you do have the matte and the aperture as well, so you could actually make this into your card base, pop that on there, and you've got a stunning looking card straight away. Right, so those are all of the dies that we have on the show, but we do also have on the show the perfect papers as well. These are such a lovely color palette, really neutral colors in with the green, the cream and the blue. You can see they work perfectly together. This is one you're going to get the solid, you've got the swirl, and you've got the floral pattern in there as well, so these work really lovely. I'm going to be using these throughout with my demos, and I was using them earlier, and I will use them in the later show as well. I'm just going to let's grab one, and we can show you some of the ways that the design team have used the collection. So you can see there. So this is using the All Our Love card shape. So you can see this has been made into a card. Perfect papers there with a sheet of vellum on the front of it. Such a lovely card, you know, for those occasions when, you know, you don't quite know what to do, you don't know what to put on those cards, or you want to add a bit of colour, but you don't add too much colour. And then this one, Vera has done this one. You can see how Vera's actually popped two back to back, and then you can see how you've got that centre column, and then if I just turn it round, you can see how that actually stands up. So that will just pop out, and that is how that will just stand up on its own. And you can see that those florals behind the vellum, it's just such a soft card, isn't it? Really, really pretty, really elegant. Or then this is a lovely one showing you that wreath. So you can see how that builds up. Oh, this is a lovely idea. Your wedding stationery, so going, you know, sympathy, weddings. Lavina has made this one. That's pretty, isn't it? And then we've got one here. Oh, another one by Lavina. See that? And I think that heart is the mat from the banded heart. So you can see how that comes together. This is a lovely one. Pam has done this one, using the mat to make the aperture there for the birdhouse. But that looks so clean and simple. It looks really, really pretty. We've got one here by Vera. So you can see there using those flowers as a little bouquet, popping a little bit of ribbon on there. Just looks lovely. We've got one here by Janine. So again, it's showing you a different way of using that card shape. So you can see different ways of using it. Then I've got another one here. Vera's done this one. So again, it's showing you a completely different way, again, of using that card shape. And then from that one, you could go on to something like that, which again is another way. Or from that, you could go on to this. So that just opens on the bottom. So there's just so many different ways of actually using that card shape. Look at that. Or even, instead of using that lace panel, just use the matte layers and have it as a card shape. So you can see using that heart, that one there, look. You could even make like little hanging home decor. You could hang like 3 of these with some string, decorate them, and then I've got one more. They just stand out, don't they? You can just, the detail in these, they just stand out completely on their own. But you can see, so everything there the design team have used is from the Eternal Grace collection. So you can see exactly how the design team have used theirs to come up with these beautiful cards. So let's just pop that there. Right, so let's make a card. Now to start off with, I am going to use the All of Our Love card shape. No, Bunny just asked me if I'm wrecking the studio. I wasn't. I just pinched my finger. That's what I did. I wasn't wrecking your studio, Bunny, don't worry. Right, so we're going to cut out that lovely lace panel. Now you can see this is such a lovely size die. It is very detailed. This on its own will give you an absolutely beautiful card. It is such a detailed panel completely on its own. You could cut this part off if you wanted to use it as a mat and layer. if you wanted to panel it onto something else, there's lots of different ways that you can use it. And it's a nice generic design as well, so it will work with other collections, not just this one. It'll mix and match with other collections as well. So I've just popped that on there. I've got some white cardstock, and I'm just going to run that through. Now, while that's going through, I'm just going to show you, I've already cut out 2 of the mats that will sit behind there. And you do have a lovely banner going down the side, which you can see there. I'll leave that there. So this part, look how easy that all just falls away. And if I just pop these last little bits out, you can really see how intricate that is. Look how thin those little bits are. That's just cut out absolutely perfectly. Now when you look at that, you could be using that with floral designs. You could use that as a Art Deco style card. There's so many different ways you could actually use that, because it's a nice generic pattern of florals that you could mix in with so many other collections that you have already. So this panel, you can see there, it's almost like a spine. You get that on the mats as well, because obviously that is going to fit on there. So I've just gone in with my scoreboard and I've just scored where that panel meets. And then what we're going to do is glue this panel. So we're just going to grab that, and then this is just going to sit on there like that. And that panel would be a really nice area to put like ribbon. It almost looked like a page inside a book, because you could have the ribbon going down the spine. But you can see then that will just stand up like that. So we've made our card shape ready to go. So we've done that. So now we're going to go in and start adding those mats and layers. Let's just move that out of the way. So I've got a blue layer next. So this is going to sit in there. So again, using my dies. These are the perfect papers that we've got on the show. So this is that solid blue that comes in the set. So you can see there, 231025 for the perfect papers that coordinate in with this one. So I'm just using that solid blue, and I'm just going to pop some foam tape on the back of there and just raise this up from the card base. So this is just going to sit on there like that. So I've got my perfect mat and layer, and then this bit that we just cut out is going to sit on there like that, which is just such a pretty design. So I'm just going to add some glue, and then I'm just going to dab some glue around the edges, and then we're going to pop that on there like that. And then we have so in the die set, I'm just going to grab this to show you. You can see you've got a mat and layer here, almost like that spine part of the die. So that bit, I've cut that in blue and in white. Now you can see you've got lovely, almost like stitch detail going across there as well. So you've got lovely detail going across there. So this is going to sit now on top of that. So I'm going to pop some foam tape down there. So this is just going to sit can't do it that way. It is going to go on there like that. And then we've got this part then that I'm going to glue, which is just going to go on top of there. So far I've only used the All Our Love card shape. I haven't gone in with anything else yet. That's going to go on. Let's pull that down a bit. So I haven't used the card shape base. I haven't used anything else yet, just those mats and layers. But you can see we've essentially, you could go in there now and add in, like, so the tags, these bits that come in the set, I've got them to go on. Now I could easily just pop that on there like that, and that could be your card done, or you could do it that way and have it there, and that could be your card done. They are so detailed, and I think they're perfect for like wedding cards and things as well. So we are going to go in now with the florals. We're going to go in with lots of different dyes on here now. So I've got the bird cage, and I do want this, because you've got that lovely detail there in the back, I don't want this to get lost. So I am going to put the mat on the back of here so that you see all that detail. So I've got the mat there that I've cut out in white, and then the bird cage is cut out with the artwork, so with your vignette. Move that over a bit. And then, so you can see now that just stands out lovely. You can really see all that detail in that bird cage. Now when I pop that on there, it doesn't get lost in the back of there. So this is going to go about here. So I'm going to use pin flare. Because I'm going to tuck some things in and around there. So I'm going to pop that about there. And then we'll go in with our bird cage. I'm just going to give it a bit of shape. Never be afraid to go in and give it anything with carnation a bit of shape, because all of those lovely cut lines are there for that reason. So I'm just going to go in and pop that there, and then we're going to go in and build up. So I've got some of the vivid blooms, so like you can see the different colorways. Like, where's the other one? So we're using like a purpley pink, and we're using the blue for this one. So you do get those. Is it 5 colorways, Bunny? Do you know? She says she thinks it's 5, so I think it's 5. I think it's there's like a pinky. There's like a pinky red. There's a, hang on. There's a, oh, we've got purple. We've got blue. There's a yellow. A pinky red. Orange. So we've got purple and we've got blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that it? Oh no, there isn't. There is more. bear with. There's red. That's pink. See, that's pink. That's red. Yellow, I've got yellow, orange, blue. Yes, that's it. So those are your colourways. So you've got 6 colourways. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got your 6 colourways there, and you can just pop those together like that, and they all work together. There's no clash in there of your colours. They all work together, which is something Carnation do so well. Like for me, colours I wouldn't even think of putting together, you can put them together with Carnation because of the way that they do their artwork and they do the colouring. They make sure that those colours don't clash for you. So we're going to go in with our blue next. And that's just going to go there. And then I'm going to go in with some of the floral heads. And actually before I do that, I'm going to tuck my feather in. Just cut this in. They're very, very detailed. I can imagine, can you imagine making like a dream catcher? A dream catcher with them. They are so detailed. Look at the detail in those. So even the artwork that you get with these is so detailed, but the cut lines and those detailed lines you get in there are just as detailed. You could cut those out in vellum and they would look stunning. Cut out in vellum as well, because you've got all that detail in the die. So I'm going to pop one of those there, and then this is the bit then where you play around with your composition and you just have fun with this bit. And you think, oh, I'm going to add that in there, or no. And I always say, but if I was doing this at home, I would just place these. I wouldn't go straight in with my glue. I would just go in and just have fun placing things around, you know, move things, take things away, add different colourways in until you look at it and you think, yep, that's how it's going to be, and then you go in and glue it. And blue, and I'm just cutting the florals down because all I'm doing is I'm tucking these behind something, so you're not going to see that bit anyway. But you can see how you can just keep building up your decoupage and get lots of dimension on there. I'm going to go in with another feather because I think these just fit in. They just fit in anywhere you want them to go. They'll just slot in, fill those little gaps. If you've got any little gaps that you think, oh, that needs something, or something needs to go there, you can just pop these in and they will just fill it. So they're great little space fillers for your projects. And I'll pop that in there like that. And then I've got these, but before I do that, I'm going to pop my sentiment on here because I'm going to pop that on there, and I've just used pin flare because I don't want to squish that bottom bit down too much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of, oh, I think I've still got some glue, and I'm going to glue. So I've got those lovely birds, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue that middle bit, and I'm going to stick this on there like that, and then I'm just going to turn that, and I'm just going to snip that end bit, and then if I lift that up, you can build those up just like that. So another way of using that panel, now that you could pop that there if you want to make it bigger, or you could even pop that just there like that, just as a panel. So you're still making a bigger card, but you're still only concentrating on this part, and that's just there in the background, and that still looks absolutely beautiful. Or you could even tuck it in to the card and have it as an overhang like that. There's just so many different ways of using it. But so that is the Eternal Grace collection that I have used. So I've used part from the full collection that you can see there on your screen, which is 231013, and that is using this from that whole collection. It is such a lovely collection, and it's such a good price for you today as well. It is $99.99 with your free UK P&P on that as well, so you will be into your free P&P bracket. So a great way to add in your perfect papers or your pro print or your everyday glue, but that is on a show price for you. So midnight tonight, that will go back up to full price. Now if you're looking at that and thinking, you know, I really like the florals, I just want to grab those florals today, we do have those in a separate bundle for you. So this is the floral composition collection, which is on a show price for you of $59.99, and that is also in your free P&P bracket, but that will also go back up at midnight tonight. So if you want to grab that, then that is also on a great price for you. We do also have the banded heart on the show as well, so that you can see there. Such a lovely die, so realistic. This one is 231024, which is on a show price of $24.99 for you. Lovely, lovely die. Now I am going to show you some more of the design team samples, so you can see different ways again that they have mixed and matched these up. So we've got one here. Now look at this one. Pam has done this one, showing you a different way of bringing those two panels. So the one that I just used, but bringing the two side by side, you can see how you can make a completely different looking card. Or this one, Pam did this one as well. You can see there Pam's actually used the matte and layer, so she's left out that lace detail, that panel, and it's completely different card shape that you could be using for that one, which I just think is so lovely. We've got one here, so this is using that center part. How pretty is that? Such a beautiful card. That's such a lovely card for those cards that we don't like making, because that is just, it's still uplifting and it's absolutely beautiful. And then I've got another one of this similar shape, so you can see they're really, really pretty. And we've got one here. Lavina done this one. Look at that. Little bird. It's lovely, isn't it? I think that sometimes it's hard because you want to add a bit of colour, don't you? You want to be a little bit cheerful, but not too much. It's like the perfect amount of colour to add in. They just work so well. We've got one here with some vellum, and you can see there with the flower hidden away behind that sheet of vellum. We've got one there. So again, using the card shape the other way as well. So there's no right or wrong way of actually using these. And I'm just going to pop that one next to it, so you can see the difference there. So exactly the same card shape, but using it landscape or portrait, and it works beautifully either way. So great one to have in your collection. So lovely, isn't it? Barbara's done that one. I've got another one there from Barbara, and then I've got one here. Aww. I think me and Bunny both looked at the little paw at the same time, and me and Bunny just went, "Oh," at the same time. It is nice to see animal ones, because I feel like, you know, they are part of the family, aren't they? Dogs are part of the family, or cats, they're part of the family, and you do feel, you know, when the loss, when they go. And then this one here, so you've got the vellum there behind it, so you've got the florals there at the back, and you can see there how they build up. Lovely. So there's so many different ways of actually using the collection. I feel like all of the samples the design team have made, they all look so different, or they've just changed things ever so slightly, and it changes the look of the cards completely. So you can see that. So that is, all those cards I've just showed you are from the Eternal Grace collection that you can see there. So that is your full collection. You will get all of those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 dies in that set. So it's such a lovely set to use. I'm trying to think which one to do. Such a lovely collection, and that All Our Love card shape has got so many different ways of actually bringing that in and using it. Right. Let's just move that. Right, so we are going to go in. Now I have got another demo where I use that lace panel again, but for this one I wanted to try and use something a bit different. So we're going to do a 6x6 card. So I'm not going to use the card shape. So I'm going to use some of my foam tape, and I'm going to just layer this up with the perfect papers, because we do have the coordinating perfect papers on the show as well, which fit in perfectly. So you can see there the Eternal Grace perfect papers, which is 231025, which is $14.99, but they do fit perfectly with the collection. Like I said, for me, the colours in this, you know, there's colour in them, but it's not a bold in your face colour. It's a very subtle colour, so it just works really well with this collection. Now next I'm going to go in with a layer of white cardstock. So I'm basically mimicking the matte layer that I've got on the outside of the card, because we're going to make the centre bit a bit smaller for us. So I'm going to go in with my tape. And then this is just going to sit in the centre there. So it's giving us that lovely frame to frame our card. And then I'm going in with the same green, but this one has got that lovely floral pattern on. So I love the patterns that Carnation put in the paper, because it's a delicate pattern. It never draws your eye away from the design. It doesn't draw you to the background. It just makes whatever you put on the front of your card stand out more. It's a really nice, subtle design. So that's going to go on there. Now I've got a sheet of vellum next that is going to sit on there like that. And you can see I've just left a gap around that frame. So I've almost got like a frame in a frame on our card. Now I'm not going to glue this yet, because I want to glue the vellum down behind what I put on there, so you don't see any of that glue. So what I'm going to do first of all, before we do anything else, is I'm going to make our label. So what I'm going to do, this is going to sit on there like that. So these are from the All Our Love card shape. So you can see there, these are your matte layers that you get there. I think that's such a usable, almost like a label shape. So I've got the outside matte there that I've done in white, and then I've got my next layer in, which I have done in white again, and then this is going to sit on there like that, and you've got that lovely detail going around the edge. Now the lovely thing with these is you can see you've got all of that detail cut lines in there. So what I've done is I've gone around with my scissors, so see all that those cut lines, all that detail you've got going around there. So I've gone in with my scissors and snipped that out. So that's going to give me like a frame effect. So I'm going to glue this I think I've gone in a bit heavy-handed there. Let's take some of that off. We're going to pop that on there. So I've just cut the exact same panel out in the same green papers, and that is going to sit on there. So I'm almost framing that label now. So that's going to go on there. And then I've got the next layer in white, and I've got a stamp on there. So I've already put some foam pads on the back of there, and then that is going to sit in the middle of that. So I've got my label. You can see how much dimension you get on there, and just like a frame within a frame. So that is just so pretty on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my vellum, and I'm going to, let's use some foam tip because I don't want it to come up. So I'm going to pop this. Alright, so I'm just going to hold that there, and this is going to sit. So hold your vellum in place, that is going to sit there like that. And now when I lift that up, I can see where I can glue. So I'm just going to pop some glue around there, and then when you pop your flowers on, you know, you can add some glue under those flowers as well up here, but just for now that is just going to sit there like that. And then we're going to go in with our florals next. So I'm going to go in with the Lily Cascade. Now this is going to sit along there like that. Now that could be your card complete. I think they look so pretty just on their own. So let's add, I'm going to add pin flex. Obviously I've got different levels as well. This is going over, so this is going to sit just there like that. And then I'm going to bring in some of our other flowers then, and again I'm going to just tuck these in. So I'm going to cut some of these down just to make them fit in where I need them to go. Never be afraid with carnation to go in and snip into things, because they give us that snippability for a reason. You know, you can always make your carnation crafts dies work for you. They do everything. So like this one now, I don't want to pop that there and have more coming up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip this away, and you're never fussy cutting with these because you've got all those cut lines in there. You're just snipping away the little bits that are holding that together. So if I just snip that away, so that was I think 3 snips, and that's 1. And now I've changed the look of that completely from this one. So now if I flip that round and pop that there, you can see now I haven't got more added up. It flows much better. So you can always fit everything in with carnation where you want it to go. So I'm just going to lift that up now and tuck that in there like that. So that's just going to tuck in there. And then I've got some, so I've got my book, which is going to go there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on there. I feel like I need a blob for that to keep that up, because it's on different levels again. That's going to go there. So you can really see how much dementia you can pull up on these, and they just work so well together. That's going to go there, add in there like that, and then I'm just going to add in some of our flowers as well, just to carry that design on. So that is going to just tuck in there like that. And actually that bit that I just snipped away, let's just put a little bit of glue on that. I'm going to tuck this under there like that, so that just brings that design over. So never throw anything when you cut something out. I always keep all the little bits that I cut away, because you never know. Just keep them with all of your cuts that you've already cut out, because you never know where you're going to need, like that, just a little filler or just a little something to add in. You've always got that there then, to just add that in. Cut that down a bit more. And I'm going to just tuck that into there like that. And then we've got your card there. So you can see there, bringing in the perfect papers, and we've mixed and matched lots of the dyes in there from the Eternal Grace collection, so you can see how they work together. We've used a couple of the florals, and we've used the Soothing Words and the All Our Love card shape, so you can see how they all come together. So that is using the Eternal Grace full collection that you can see there on your screen. So that's everything that you're going to get in that collection. You can see that is on a show price for you of $99.99. You do get your free P&P with that. It is 231013. We do also have the floral bundle as well, so if you're looking and thinking I really want to get the florals, you can absolutely get that. That's also on a show price for you. Bunny can't find her. We'll go back to her. Oh, they no. So that's your floral composition collection, which is $59.99, and that one is 231015. So if you want to grab that one, that's also going to qualify you for your free P&P. And then we do have the banded heart as well, which is again such a detailed die in that one. That is 231024, and that is $24.99 for you. So great one to add in with your either one of your bundles. Right, so we're going to try and squeeze in another demo for you guys at home. Now I wanted to try and use this. I thought this was so pretty, but I wanted to try and use it in a different type of way. So I showed you earlier how we cut this out like this. You've got that panel there, and we popped the matte layers onto that panel. Now this one that I've cut already, you can see I've just cut away that panel on the edge. So I've just trimmed that down, okay? Now I've got my card, and we've got the perfect papers here, and I've used green for this one, and this has that lovely floral design on it. So you can see there are our Eternal Grace perfect papers. They are $14.99. You will get P&P on that, but again, it's such a lovely one to add in with the bundle, because they do coordinate in perfectly, and it's a really nice palette. They're very subtle. You've got green, blue, and your creams and your dark creams in there, but they're such subtle colours. They're really lovely. So I've gone in now with that solid as well from the Perfect Paper, and I've just put a mat of white on top of it. So this now, we'll pop this. So we're working kind of backwards for this. So working from the back of the card forward. So I'm going to pop this on there, and then the back of our card will be done. So this is now going to set on there like that. So we've got the inside of our card. So now you could have printed a verse, stamp a sentiment, something like that on there if you wanted to. Now this is going to be the front. So what I'm going to do is, right, so we've got our panels. So like I showed you, I've just trimmed that part of the panel down, and I'm going to put some glue along that edge. So this is just the bit that I've trimmed down, and we're going to pop this onto this edge. So that is going to go there. So if I just turn that around, so that is going to sit like that. Then I'm going to go in with, so I'm copying now the mats and layers that we just did on the inside. So you've got your Perfect Paper with the floral design, which is going to sit on there like that. So that's covering, so where that panel was that I've just cut down, that has now covered it. So you're not going to see that panel. Then we'll add some foam onto this one. So add that in there like that. And then that is going to sit on there like so, and then we've got white, so exactly the same as we did on the inside. Just check that's the right way around. And then that's just going to sit on there like that. So you've got your matte layers and exactly the same then as on the inside. So that will sit like that. And then we're going to go in with, can you tell I like these? They're so usable though, and so like I showed you just now where I've cut away the edge, so where that detail edge is, I've done the exact same thing but on the smaller one for this one, and you can see how you can mix and match them up. There's just so many ways. Now you could have done the same thing again with there and add in that green on the outside as well, but they just work so well. They are so usable. Even just the small one on its own just works really, really well. So we're going to pop this now on here, but before I do that, I'm going to pop my floral in. So I'm just going to actually snip it at the end. So let's just give this a little bit of shape, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on there, and that is just going to sit on there like that. And then I'm going to cut that to the card, and then we'll pop this one in. Pop that there, and then do the same with this one. And that's just going to sit on like that. And then I've got some of the tranquil lily then. So I'm stuck with the lilies for this one, and I am just going to go in and tuck these in with this card. So this is just going to sit there like that. And then this one is just going to go there like that. So now can I hold that up? You can see how that will just stand up like that, and then you could have, you know, you could print your verse or stamp your sentiment in there, but you can see you can't see the join, and you can't see it at the front either because we've covered it with that matte layer there. So you're not going to see it on the front either, but you still see that beautiful detail. Ooh. But once you've made it, leave your pin flare dry before you start picking your cards out. But you can see how that all comes together. Really, really pretty. But all of the dies in the Eternal Grace, they just work so well together. They all come together beautifully. You've got your card shape in there. You've got the soothing words, the graceful flutters. You've got those lovely feathers that you can tuck in, and they fill those gaps lovely for you. You've got all our love card shape, and we showed you the design team samples, so many different ways of actually making a card shape out of that set. You've got Be Free, which I just think is such a lovely one to add in. Really lovely detail to pop onto your projects. You've got the Lily Radiance, the Tranquil Lily, the Vivid Blooms, Peace Lily, and the Lily Cascade. So a very big bundle there that you're going to get. Such a lovely bundle on that show price for you of $99.99. But if you are looking at it and think, I just want the flowers, you can absolutely get that. We have done a floral bundle as well, which is at $59.99. Again, that is just until midnight tonight. So after that, that is going to go up in price. And then our last one that we do have is the banded heart. So you can see that it's such a lovely die. I'm just going to turn around because I'm here. A big die as well. A lot that you can do with that. You could use that as card bases, home deck with them. Lots of different options to do that one as well. So that does bring us to the end of our show. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. We are going to be back at 2 o'clock. So Lace Cascade is what we were back with at 2. I am using some of the items from this show in that show as well. So if you want to come back and join us for some more inspiration, we will see you at 2.